Today we're going to start a new series called Warzone Ranked Strategies, and today Sneaky Snake and I are dropping into a ranked play lobby with a random. Today's focus is going to be on formation fighting, and I want to teach you guys how Sneaky Snake and I play alongside each other while we're also teaching this random. Something that I always talk about in every single one of my videos is learning to be aware of your surroundings. And even though on the minimap we have a down arrow facing dot over on the ramp, we have a visual cue of a player right here in the open. So as I'm moving down, I'm not engaging with my pistol, I'm getting a weapon. I'm going to open a few crates, grab some backup plates, and then I'm going to communicate to my team where they are. I'm going to move down to their last known position, but I'm going to do so in the protection of cover, and I'm going to take out the first enemy. I am immediately going to hug that cover. And this is something you are going to have to learn to do in any game mode, but it is extremely important when you are in ranked. I'm checking that mini-map and immediately seeing where his two teammates are. In this game mode, there are 3 enemies per team. So I have a clear line of sight on the second enemy, and I am awaiting their push. I reload the weapon, predict their slide out, and take them out. Now, something that I really want to focus on in today's video is how close we are to one another and how we're supporting that fight. In this situation here, I think it's completely okay because I just engaged 2 enemies that my team has moved over to assist. Snake has now pushed up to chase the 3rd enemy. I'm giving the call out that he's over by the ATV. We're going to reevaluate our resources here, and we are going to get a loadout. We have over 10,000 together, and we're going to prioritize getting those loadout weapons. If you notice, our teammate is nowhere near us. And this is something that I think is very, very popular with randoms, as they're going to continue to push like it's a pubs lobby, and you can't treat these lobbies the same way. We're getting that loadout, and random is gone. He is out there pushing trio solo without his loadout. So this is teamwork 101. When you're trying to get better at the strategic side of the game, you need to think about how to move and communicate your moves. I'm going to leave some voice comms in this game so that you guys can start to see how concise callouts really make a difference in some of these higher skilled lobbies. Now, as we're pushing up on the last known position, we have a fresh ping on the minimap. This is one of the harder structures to infiltrate when you have an entrenched team. So what I like to do is scope out where the fight is at before we push. And if you notice, one of us will generally take high ground and the other will take low ground, and we usually split off and take both sides of the rotation. Snake starts to engage, we get confirmation pings on the radar, and I am giving away my position by walking over these beddies. So I'm immediately going to peek, awaiting them to push out towards this area, because I've given them my location by walking over their booby trap, which is a great strategy for getting information if the team is pushing you. I'm also getting live pings from the Snake, and he is engaging them from the roof. So I'm going to fall back and go to an adjacent roof line. Today, as I do, he has shot a guy on top of Blue House and made it safe for me to get to the roof. So now I'm going to do the same for him, and I'm going to assist with this push by going along the roof line. Now we are prepared to move into these 2 windows in a synchronized fashion and pinch through the room. But what I notice here is off way in the distance, we have a sniper. So I'm immediately going to indicate that to my teammate, who likely is tunneled on that fight right now and is not going to notice a sniper that far out in the distance.
ATC's looking at you, sniper.
So I let him know that we immediately need to be on guard from the sniper rounds.
Nice.
I put a few shots on him.
He is hard. Oh my god, they all are.
And there's multiple snipers looking at us. So now we have a decision. If we stay here and try to continue the push from the roof line, we're not going to be able to defend ourselves from the sniper. So we're both pushing in the bottom, and we're immediately cautiously checking that lower level. And all of these doors, when you walk in, if you just slide into this room, you have to look at your left and your right and then check all of your hot zones. Before you push in this room, you need to be looking at all of your points of security. So we're immediately going to thirst him, and then I'm going to fall back in the direction of my teammate, and we're going to communicate the up arrow from my thirst, because Snake is not getting that ping. We're going to hold the low ground and recycle our push upstairs. I'm waiting for interior gunfire. I hear footsteps. I hear him tiptoeing around, and as I'm clearing through the room, he pushes out towards Snake, and Snake takes him out. I am immediately going back to our last known threat, which was over at ATC, and I catch a player out on the buy station. This is a free kill if we can manage our arrangement.
Mini Mart.
So I'm notifying through the voice comm and the live ping. I'm not firing the weapon to give away that I know he's there. And as I'm assessing the opposite angle before I start to fire, I see something crucial. We have a fresh fly-in on the roof. This could be from the teammate that's here at the buy station. And if you notice on the minimap here, Snake is pointing in the direction of my last ping, and we are reacting to the audio cue of this guy on the roof. So you have to be aware of different teams, and if you're going to push multiple teams at the same time, you have to be prepared to take appropriate action.
Oh god, they're all up there. That was dumb to stand there.
Snake confirms that they are all on the roof.
Now we will reflect on our choices.
I'm going back to check on the player that may have moved away from the buy station. This is a very big red flag. If you're inside of a building and you see a piece of equipment, it generally means that there is a player very close to you or already in your building.
He flew toys in our house.
Done it.
He's up.
So someone landed inside the window and they were using their equipment to try and find our location. Once again, we have taken care of both of our kills, and at my request, Random has decided that he does not want to solo push 3 enemies over in Stronghold anymore. So he's getting away from that fight. He's using the vehicle. Snake is doing his best to defend Blue, getting back to our location. Interesting strategy that I decided to use here. I'm trying to put as much damage on the helicopter as possible because there's no large zip to get to our roof anymore. There is the ability for them to take the helicopter and land on our building. So I'm going to try and pre-damage that as much as possible until I see that there is a dot who zipped up and has now made it towards tents. I'm pre-aiming that area, communicating it to the team, and still getting shots from the tower. So Blue's made it back over by us. We've explained that we want him to play a little bit slower so that we can win the game. I'm still coming back to check the buy. The buy station is still a big hot zone, and we did get some audio activity over here before. Now, as I start to shoot a fly-in, I notice Blue pushing out towards Control. And if you know anything about Control in any lobby, it is a swamp fest of rats.
Don't do it.
I tell him not to do it, and I tell him to come back this way. I take care of the counter UAV and explain that we need to hold our position.
Don't do it.
We're still getting shots pushed on us from Stronghold, and we are going to hold our angles through the most powerful building in the center of the circle right now. There are a lot of entry points, but there are also a lot of viewing angles that we can use to team fire these guys. So Blue once again makes his way back towards our building. Someone picks up a bounty contract, which is a phenomenal way to find enemy teams. And we are looking in the direction of where they are flying in now, thanks to that bounty. So as he pulls towards the fight, I'm going to assist. I catch somebody going through the doorway here. I'm going to pre-thermite that and then push up towards.
He's in there, Blue.
Uh-oh, they're coming up.
And this is the part that I think that is very difficult for players to do, is not only did I want to have my own game here, but I am supporting Blue's push. I'm there in case that there's another enemy not on the radar, but I'm also immediately listening to the call out that they are finally coming up out of Stronghold. And if you look at where Snake is, he's on the corner angle directly on the backside by Red, in between the rocket, which means he is now holding that ramp, and that team is pushing up towards him. So I'm going to reprioritize getting to him as fast as possible so that I can defend 3v1.
Coming to you, Snake.
Once again, we're going to use the angle here. Going to pre-protect ourselves from lethals. So I push into support. And this is where I see something completely new. Is not only are we defending against the team that was attacking Snake, we see 3 more. This is likely the players that came from Control. I feel like the first team was the ones from down here, and I'm already starting to predict that there's a potential of 6 enemies here. So I'm going to play this a little bit slower, and as they are watching up at the top of the steps, I am listening for this dot, and I see his head out of the corner of my eye. I pre-aim the area, take the angle, hit successful headshots, but then back off the fight because I am also broken. Communicate that the other team is pushing in, trying to third party, and I see Betty's inside on the floor. But while they're pushing up top, I'm looking for this guy that I just saw in the window. I use the outside angle. He's holding the window and does not predict where I am coming from. Now I'm getting new information. They're holding the upstairs. Both of my teammates are alive. I'm presuming that we are okay inside, but I see Betty's here on the floor that could easily take out my team, and I get 2 fresh dots on the minimap. So I'm going to go over here to the side. I'm going to take him out.
He's on the bottom.
I hear footstep audio on the floor downstairs, start to take shots, go into the back room, and I see that we now have a new team that's pushed up in the same arrangement that we were trying to enter Big Green before.
We have visitors on.
I have a lot of people here, and I don't like it.
Huh?
Snake has expressed his desire to have population control.
Fire! You're on fire again.
So a few things here. I put down a trophy system again because I anticipate lethals as they try to push. That's what I would be doing, is throwing thermites or flashbangs into the room before we push, and Snake has slid into the perfect gap between these 2 windows. I am anticipating their push. After knocking him, I let himself reload my weapon.
They're gonna jump.
And then tap. Staying in the corner out of their line of sight, sliding out, confirming that
Top red still?
they're on the roof, communicating that they are on the top, and then hitting the chimney with a thermite. Gives them a wake-up call that they need to back off for a second, and then I see the double push. And this is an excellent push by both Snake and Random. We've swung into one building, and Random has come through the other side. I'm going to go underneath, and this would give us the pinching power from both directions. If Blue doesn't shoot his weapon here, then I know that the building is clear up top, and then I'm going to move up to assist Yellow. So we're doing everything we can to control this zone of the map. And these slower progressions and keeping your power positions while still being aware of all your surroundings. And this is where I think
We still have some in green to hold.
And this is one of those dangerous situations, is we are in the center of zone, but we do not have elevation. So right now we're in the open, and immediately warning signals are going off for me because I am in the open. We are both facing in the same direction, and we are way too close to each other. Now, we do have a player that we've only played a few games with, and he is pointing in the general direction of what I think to be the secondary threat. This is where I think that you have to split up. We can't all stand in this spot, so we're going to wrap around the backside.
Yeah, I hear doors.
And we're getting audio confirmation that our assumption is correct, that they are in Big Green. Blue is holding his position, but then moving up towards us. And this is, once again, another power play where we are all looking in the same direction. I'm immediately starting to worry about my right-hand side. So we're going to take the high spot, and we're starting to hold this direction. Once again, we are looking at adjacent windows, and blue is in the bottom. So it's a great pinch on his part, and that's what I was worried about. So I immediately react to that directional. I didn't even have to think about where it was coming from. It was most definitely this zone, because if they were in this area here, they'd be looking to move down farther on down the line, whereas this team is very, very comfortable. And this is where the instinctual positioning comes into play, is you have to be ready to be in these situations for the third party, because right now the two of us are looking at big green and we have random inside as well as another player outside.
Oh god. HQs.
So the reaction timing is everything. You get off the roof, communicate the direction of where it's coming from, and then we get confirmation that precision airstrike is on the way. So I'm falling back to hold the opposite angle and paying attention to where our random is, because he has kind of put himself in a bad spot with that push.
Push too far in, blue.
Communicating to him that he
roof.
should come back this way, telling him where the threat is located so that he can take the best possible exit.
On red top now.
I'm putting shots on it and confirming to him and the snake
Cracked. Down.
that they're
Get to us.
confirming to him that he is probably trying to hold him from the roof of red. I tell him to get to us while turning around to get information on what's going on in the rest of circle. I see the player on the boat.
Oh, I'm getting shot from the back.
Now we are holding the high ground, but there are people behind us, and confirming that in zone and communicating that as well.
That guy die. Jesus.
And they are on different levels inside of green. So have to activate that nope moment like I was just doing over on the roof of red. Is back off that fight. You're not going to win it. You don't have the right weapon, and you don't want to go down here. If I go down in this situation here, it becomes an uneven gunfight, and then they can push so much easier.
Two coming on a green.
Pulling off, communicating that they're pushing, and that's the next priority, and then falling back, gathering resources. More shots from HQ, and unfortunately, they take out blue. And in this scenario here, we have already had tons and tons of gunfire. So if you're in the window of HQ and you're pushing down, you're going to be a target if you're on the roof of those buildings. And if you notice, Snake and I did not use the rooftops very much towards the second half of the game, as once we got confirmation that there was a sniper looking at us, we started with the ground play. And I think that there's way too much emphasis on the elevation in some of these fights, because if you're on the roof of every building all the time, you're going to get pinched by multiple teams. Speaking of pinching, it is time to assist my teammate. He is now pushed up, and if you notice where he is on the side roof here. He's gone out the window on the second floor, and he is on the roof, and it is a wonderful play because he's able to hold this angle or that roof as they jump off, but he has the building behind him to block HQ. He unfortunately goes down, and I slide out to find two enemies that have team fired him. It looks like Snake was able to get a thermite down at their feet, and what I notice is right up here. Enemy number 3 is climbing to the roof, and he's going to take him out. So I'm going to let him continue to do his self while providing as much possible defense as I can from this position. I do not have plates in. I'm able to knock one, and so is Snake because he left them another present inside. I get the thirst, move up to assist, and hold the window. I see that he's gone down into the left, so that I am going to jump out. I'm going to plate, and then come to hold. He confirms that the guy on the roof has made it across to the other roof. So I slide into hold, and then try and time his jump down. We turned a 3v2 into a 2v1, and we got out of that fight. So now it's time to assess what happened to the HQ players.
On the boat still.
We found one on the boat. He's going for the buyback. I'm watching for the boat, and I also see that there's a landmine down here that he could accidentally run over while trying to get back into zone. I also saw the player that probably put that mine there on the radar
Should I float
just a
or
few
should I-
moments
or
ago.
Should I land?
Random asks
I'll
if
get
he should
down here.
float, and I tell him to get down here so that he can help confirmation on the map straight ahead. Snake wraps around the outside. He pushes one window, and I push the second. I see the enemy. I break him. Snake goes down. I stim, slide up to the second window support. I don't push in because I have two enemies in here. And that is really, really important, is if you emotionally react to that. When they knocked and thirsted Snake, they got my ping immediately. And you have to know that experienced players are going to use this tactic. So I'm going to play to my strengths, which is fast shift into cover on the outside of the building. Plus, this guy is wearing a black rank skin in a dark room. So if you know anything about the lighting in Warzone, if you start to jump through windows, you're going to get this shadowing effect, and it's very hard to see the outline.
I'm watching you.
And then I'm executing the pinch tactic because Random is confirming that he is watching my rotation. So I'm going to slingshot myself through the room and push out towards him.
Elimination.
2v1 scenario, very easy gunfight, but I don't want to get killed in the corner. And sure enough, despite his name, somehow doesn't completely crap the bed. Whether you're playing in ranked or you're playing in pub lobbies, it is very important to think about your position alongside your teammates' position. And a lot of times people ask, how do I know what my teammates are going to do? I do know some habits with players that I play with all the time, but the basic rule of thumb is to react to the opposite of whatever your teammate is doing. You don't always want to be standing in the exact same spot. It makes for easy collaterals and easy pinches. Whereas if you're in opposite directions and you're looking at the same direction, you can crossfire and teamfire just as effectively, or bail out if the situation goes wrong. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Guys, let me know how I'm doing down in the comments below. If you want to see some more rank play tips, let me know, and I will continue to work on these for you. Like I always say, keep building, keep adapting. Sitrep out.